Hello and welcome to my very first live stream on my channel. I don't know whether this is going to go well or whether it's going to go absolutely horribly, but I hope that we just have some fun as we create the Wonder Woman 1984 style titles. And I'm going to set myself a challenge to try and complete these titles inside of 30 minutes. It was originally going to be inside of 1 hour, but I thought that 30 minutes would be more of a challenge. So I grabbed the trailer off of YouTube and I've just put it into a composite shot so I can just see the titles to get an idea for what I'm going to be trying to create. So if I just watch this through, then I can see that there's quite a lot of like scan lines going on here in between each of the letters. There's also some golds into kind of a colour gradient type thing, and there's also a whole load of light flares. There's also some form of block displacement, and also like some really cool colour grading going on. There's also a gradient for the background, so it isn't just a solid block colour. Okay, so I'm going to start my timer now. So I have half an hour. So I'm going to create a new composite shot, and I'm going to call this titles. I'm going to set the frame rate. Can't type. I'm going to set the frame rate to 24 because that's the frame rate that the actual titles has. So if I just press OK, then you can see I've got my plain composite shot. I'm just going to create a new plane, make it black. I'm just going to call this plain black 1920 by 1080. Then I'm going to press OK. And I think I'm just going to start with the background. So I'm going to build this up by adding a gradient. I am allowed to look back at the original trailer to just fully understand the colours. So it's kind of a slightly warmer colour down at the bottom. So now if I just take the black point, let's put that at the bottom. Oh dear, got some. Right. So now I'm going to change this black to kind of like a darker red. Like a really, really dark red. I'm going to make it even darker. Just needs to be slightly off of being... Actually, this colour gradient isn't quite getting the same look that I want. I might be better off with a radial gradient, actually. Yeah, that's better. So I'm going to do the same thing with the colour. So I'm just going to set this to a really, really dark red. That's better. Radius. Right. So I want most of it to actually be the inner radius. Then the outer radius I'm just going to set to, if we just have a look at this. I'm trying to work out where the light is actually coming from for the background. I'm trying to work out where the light is coming from for this background layer, so I'm going to darken this down even more. Set the blend to normal and just get something that looks decent. This is just a background and I've got 27 minutes remaining on my timer. I'm just going to play around with this, move it to somewhere that I prefer, make it a bit bigger. And now I'm going to just stick a blur on there. I think I've probably wasted a bit too much time trying to perfect this background, and it's hardly even noticeable. Right. So that is now the background. And now I guess what I need to do is build up the opening kind of text that flies forward from the front. That's probably going to be the hardest part of this, so I better start on that now. I think I'm going to do this inside of a new composite shot, so if I just create a new, and just call this title, and this entire title sequence is 4 seconds long, so if I just hit OK, and then create some new text, so it's WW and then 84. That font actually looks pretty good. Let's just check what it is. What was I using last? Verdana bold at that size. I might just scale this up actually. Select it first. And now if I go over to layout and then I centralize all of this, that actually looks quite cool. In order for me to have that single letter flying forwards, would I be better to do this all as individual letters? Or should I cut out each of them? I might be better actually animating the masks for when the W flashes in, because the W, when it's coming in, it kind of flashes for 1 frame, it disappears. And then I could just animate all of that with masks. Right, so I guess the first thing that I have to do is just make these slightly closer together. Not too close together, otherwise it's going to make things hard, but I kind of want there to be room for me to put the light flare in there. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to the titles comp, drag and drop the title on here. That is in the middle. That all looks pretty cool. Alright, now I guess I just need to cut out each of the letters with masks, and now I'm just going to hide this one so that I can actually see what I'm doing. Right, WW, and then the 84 comes on in 1. Oh, and with me doing the title inside of a separate comp, I can use that and change out what the text says. So now I think it comes down to me animating this. I'm probably doing this completely wrong, so I might completely change this in a second. Right. So if I change this to a 3D plane, this will allow me to animate it in 3D space so it can fly past the camera. I guess I need to hide those so I just have the W. So I'm focusing on this W. Let's just find out when does... Right, that stops moving at 1 second. The W stops at 1 second. So I suppose that's what I need to animate now, is go to 1 second, set a keyframe for the position, go back to the start, and then move this off of the frame. And I might just move this over slightly. What have we got so far? That looks pretty cool. Now where does this come in from? This comes from the middle of the W. Right. Right. Yep, here we go. And now if I just move this down and up. Now if I just render out what we've got so far. That now moves so that it's in the center, and that is all how I need that to be. Now it's just creating this weird like 3D displacement for each of the letters. How long have we... I've got 22 minutes left. Right. And all the other letters are still there. So, I now need to come up with how I'm going to do this, because these come in as 3D blocks that then form together. So I could use parallax, but I don't know how far I could push it if I was using parallax. and then I could use 3D extrusion. I've never tried this, so it's going to be an experiment for us all. Right, so with the parallax I'm going to have to create a map. So let's just get the parallax on here. Oop, can't spell. So if I just drop the parallax on the title, I mean that's created something that already looks pretty cool. And that's not even what I was aiming for. Right, if we now create a new composite shot, I'm going to call this height map. And I think I'm going to be using some fractal noise. So if I just grab the black plane, if I just use this fractal noise, drag and drop this onto the black plane, go over to the controls, and then I can change it from clouds over to, no, from, if I change the interpolation from cubic to block, and then just change up the seed, I want to squash it and flatten it. So I want it to be fairly small chunks. And now I want to squash this down and stretch. Right. Subsettings. Don't want any like sub-levels for that. I need to make it white and black. I need something that looks truly random. Right. And now if I animate this over the 1 second, so it starts off like this, and then at the 1 second it all fades to white. Right, I need this to... Yeah, there we go, that's something cool. Now if we go over to the titles, we grab the map that we've just made, the height map, drop this on here somewhere, and then if we reference that as the height map, it is working. I just need to create it to look a bit cooler. So if I just add a new light, let's light this already. Oh, where's the blue handle gone? If I just drag that really far off into the distance, let's just delete that light and get a new one. Just drag this. The front. Right, we're getting something close to that now. I just have to... I mean, it's looking cool. And I just have to make it so it's... Right, if we just go into the height map, let's just condense this down. See what that looks like now. Right, I need to try and get rid of this. The remaining W. You see, this is where I haven't really played around much with parallax. So, I don't know whether I'm trying to do stuff that you can't actually do with the parallax effect. So let's just play around here and see what we can get with my limited knowledge of parallax that mostly comes from a Film Sensei tutorial on how to create some Iron Man inspired titles. I mean, something like that. could work. I just need to work on the animation of this map, and I can close down the titles. So I think it's changing to white too soon, which is an issue. Because I need it to be darker at the start. Let's like animate just one of these properties. I have to have that as a starting point. If we get this to 0, then I can just animate this. Offset all the way over to 1 second and change that to the white. But I kind of want more darker areas. Right. Got a new idea. I'm going to grab a tint effect and set it to white and black. And set it to lightness. No, I need to use... Before that, if I use a histogram, how much time have I got left? I've got 15 minutes left, right. So, if I just grab this histogram here, and drag and drop this here, and then I just crush it. Wrong one, I need the levels histogram, not the scope. Very different things. Right, so if I now crush these, this might work. Once again, playing with stuff that I have forgotten how most of it works. As long as it all turns white. Right, it all turns white at the end. That's the wrong one. Right, I mean, we're getting something now. Is it now changing to one solid letter at the end? That is the important part. It is! Woohoo! Right. So it flies in. I think I need an ambient light. If I create this ambient light here, and then I just kind of reduce it just a bit, I will then add all sorts of other stuff to the edge, right. So that flies in and is all cool. So now I need to animate in the other letters. Then I will do the scan lines and everything. Then I'll work on trying to make the text shiny. But I am working against 13 minutes left, so I would try and do so much more extra stuff with this. So at 1 second 6 frames, the other W comes in. So if we go to the title, it's that one, right? If we go 1 frame before, set the opacity to 0, go a frame ahead, set it to 100, go the next frame, set it to that, and that should flicker in like it does on the actual trailer. Right. I accidentally set the opacity to 0, didn't I? It's meant to go right. That is working how it should be. No, it's not. No, I was right in the first place. It should be 0 there, because it's meant to not be any first W. It's like bump bump bump, then that's in, and then when does the 87 fly in? So at 15, I need to keyframe that it's got 0 opacity. So here, no, 15. Need to keyframe 0 opacity, then I need to move ahead by 1 frame and set its opacity to 100. Right, so we have now got something, and it's getting there. We're slowly getting there, and we have got 11 minutes left, so I've got like 10 minutes to do the rest of this shot. Right, I'm gonna have to use a scan lines. Let's just get the bulk of the awesome 80s style effects done now. So if we use the scan lines and change up the frequency, how close together are the scan lines on this? Really close together, right, that is correct. And now if I just boost the brightness, I'm really unsure as to what I'm doing now. I haven't really got time to think about it too much. Right, so that is now the scanline look. And now if I grab a block displacement, drag and drop this onto here, set its size down really low, change its displacement because I don't want it to be moving it too much. Coverage, I want it to cover all of it. I want all of the parts to be there. Don't want there to be too many displaced blocks. This is meant to only be a really subtle effect. I need the bars to be fairly long, so then if I change the size down to 5, yeah, that creates some really awesome looking pixels. And just keep saving my work, because with only having 10 minutes left, I really need to concentrate. Actually, if that actually doesn't look too bad. You've got a slight bit of the 3D going on there. What would it look like if I moved the parallax to above? That looks better for the intro part. Still doesn't look great. That's my least favourite part of this title so far. Wait, when did it start glitching out on this one? So it forms and... Right, it's when the other letters start coming in that it starts going all glitchy, so I can't use that for that. So let's go to here. If we now set the scan lines block displacement to size 5, set it to 0 there. Wait, what? Where's that keyframe gone? 0.1. Right. Oh. Displacement as well. Go ahead by 1 frame, mark a keyframe, then set this to 0. And then that only starts affecting it there. Now if I animate the seed and just progress it like 20 over this entire thing, that's far too fast. I'm going to set this to 10. And yeah, that's not too bad. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but it's getting there. Right. I've got 8 minutes left. Right, this is getting tight for time. Let's look at the original trailer. Right, I need to add that colour, so I'm going to just throw a 4-point colour gradient at it. And just stick that below all of these other effects. Right. Here we go. Get those really bright colours going on in here. Well, what kind of colours are we seeing? We're seeing lots of golds. There's some blues on this side, more golds and yellows. So I want to set the 0.1. Is this 0.1? I don't know where 0.1 is. Where's 0.1? No, that's not 0.1. 0.1's up there. So 0.1. Alright, let's set you to that. That's a bit too bright. Right. I want it to be a bit more of a deeper colour. I mean, it's still, I need it slightly paler. Right. I've got 7 minutes left, right. I need a really, really, really pale blue, and now I'm just going to rush ahead and try and get this all done. That's too pale. Ah! Right. If I go there, and then I set... Ah! Stop clicking off of these things! Let's just lock all of those layers. Get this all in the right place. Right, so greens, we've got more yellows and golds going on here. So if I set this up to be a nice gold, I need 0.3. That is bright yellow. I just want it to be slightly more of a red to create some more contrastiness. And this, another nice pale colour. Bit too pale. Again, rushing against time here. Right, I've got some colour in there somewhere. 6 minutes left. I need to get these glows. Wait, where's... Oh, good. There they are. I need to get some of these glows in. I might actually just move the block displacement keyframes back ever so slightly, so it's less of a harsh start here. If I have it so that it comes in over a few frames. There we go. Right. Right, now I'm going to use the new chromatic aberration effect. And just drop this below. This creates... Oh, that looks really cool. So, it starts glitching out. Right, I'm just going to set these to some smooth keyframes. Right. This, I'm going to have to just go through and quickly keyframe strength and distance over a few frames. Just want something that looks kind of random. And I want it to set back here. Don't want it to be too strong when there's like no distance. So right, so if I just advance ahead, move that up. Oh dear, I'm really zoomed in, that's why. Right, right, keyframe. Right, and get some of those nice keyframes in there. Get this looking correct. Is that even doing anything? Ah, that's because it's got a strength of 0 in no direction. Ah, I've probably done that for all of them. Yep. Right, just scoot that along. That's 0 anyway. That's good. Right, okay. 0 and 0. And now if I just move ahead by a few more frames, scoot that up to 10. And then move that along. This is one of the most obvious ones. Set that to 0. Right. Actually, if I do just move that... Okay, this is getting some really interesting looking results. Don't know if it's going well. I suppose that's part of the challenge. Right. This looks far too bright, but I have got 3 minutes left. Right, I guess I should put the light flares in. So if I grab this black plane, drag and drop that onto here. Wait, where's everything gone? Oh, black plane. Oh, panic. Light flare. And I accidentally joined the letters together. And now, if I grab the light flares effect, drag and drop this, right click, blend mode, set it to add. And now select this. I know that the light flare generates in there. Now I just need to find the correct one. I think I'm going to go for golden artifacts. I think that's one. That is one, right? Yeah, it is. That's not right. Finding light flares is always really annoying. Where is it? Is it flashlight LED? I need to just find something that's kind of long. Like that. Oh, that's not the right colour. But right, if I can just find a... There we go. Perfect. Right, now I need this to generate in when the W appears. Right, so just here. And it starts off being really low intensity. Then I animate this up to just kind of appear. Oh dear, that's not good. Whoa, that's too bright. And then if I just move that down, then we get something that looks cool there. Is there another light flare? Yeah, there's a light flare at the bottom of the 8 as well. Oh, wrong plane. Then there's a light flare bottom of the 8. I don't know when this comes in, so I'm just going to have to guess, go off of what might look cool. Duplicate this, move it down to the bottom of the 8. This is very rushed. If I had more time, then I might get something that looks a bit better, but I'm trying to do this within this time deadline. Those light flares are far too bright still. How long have I got left? I have got 52 seconds left. Whoa. Right, let's go to the intensity. I need to decrease those rays there. Far too bright. Oh, that's better, that's better, that's better. Set the brightness of those rays really low down. There we go, there we go, there we go. I was going to have Wonder Woman come up across the bottom. I might have time for that, actually. Right, let's go new text. Just... it's far too big. No! Shrink! Shrink, 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 shrink. And not make it bold. Just regular. Right. And then this needs to be a lot smaller. Load smaller. Not that small, though. Wonder Woman. Expand that across there. This is very rushed. I know it's not that small. No! Oh, that's my half an hour run out. Right. Okay, so this is what I have got so far. So that is the end of my half an hour. I cannot do anything else to this. Unfortunately, I couldn't move that Wonder Woman text. So I'm now just going to render this out. And hello, Place Productions. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. There's so many things that I wish I could improve about this already just from watching this back. I feel like some glows would have improved it so much. I know the light flares aren't bad. It's not the worst thing in the world. I just feel like there are some things that I could improve about it. Like when it's coming in, I needed to have that 3D extruded. So this is what I've got done in the half an hour that I gave myself. And I might extend it slightly, just so I can get a finished project. But this is what I managed to complete within the half an hour. The light flares are far too fast, and they're a bit too all over the place. But given that I was rushing, because that was in like my final... thank you, Dafter Things. Thank you for tuning in. I've tried to get this done as well as I could. I think I might give myself a few extra minutes just to finish it off. But if you want to see what I've managed to make in half an hour, with only a couple of looks at the trailer, what do you think in the comments? Do you think I should give myself a few extra minutes to finish it off? Or should I just, like, end it here? Yeah, those light flares are definitely a bit too pop. They're like... Don't know what the sound effect was. Okay, so yeah, that's my half an hour attempt. I'm just going to finish off some of these light flares, but this isn't going to count as my half an hour. Oop, didn't mean to set a keyframe there. Right. If I just remove that, how does that look? So it's more... Oh dear, what is happening? Right, okay, Dafter Thing says have a few more minutes. So I'm going to do as he says. Right. So, yeah, that's my issue here. So I need to extend these frames slightly just to get some more intensity here. Right. So this isn't too bad. I feel like if I just finish this off completely, I was originally going to go for trying to do this in an hour, which would have probably been a better idea now I think about it, because that would have given me a lot of extra time to work on it. I need to increase that scale. I accidentally deleted my scale keyframe. Right, when does the Wonder Woman text pop onto the screen? I am aware that there are also some lens distortion. Right, this fades in slightly at 2 seconds 2. So now if I just go ahead to 2 seconds 2, this is where the Wonder Woman text comes in. There, right? Set its opacity to 0 and then grow it over 2 frames. This also has the same effects on it, I think, so I need to just copy across these, apart from the colours, right? Didn't mean to copy that, right? Block displacement, scan lines. I want to keep this kind of more clean. This is more in the style of the Wonder Woman text. It's not exact, but I've tried to replicate the style. What colour is it when it comes in? Oh no, it does have the other, like, distortion effects, which I have just applied. For some reason they're not doing anything. Oh right, that's because they start there. I want them to start as soon as they come in. Now if I just expand this out, I think I've had 8 minutes extra. I think I have, anyway. And I just want to set the colour to being quite a gold kind of colour. Tint it towards that kind of... Oh no, that looks horrible. Oop, I didn't mean to create that. Probably use the mouse tool. Right, if I make this a darker colour... I think that's just a bad frame to pause it on, really. Those blacks are horrible. Right. Right, okay, that's a bit better. Now it's underneath that light flare. And then as it's fading in, there is another light flare. Joys. Right. And copy it and paste it in the same effect. And now if I just drag this down, there's quite a few light flares going on here. I kind of want this to fade in with the text. That's too early. Right. I think I need to just extend that out. Yeah, that comes in far too slowly. Right, this. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. And I suppose I now need to just add some lens dirt. Also a letterbox. So yeah, I have gone over my 30 minutes that I was going to do. But I did show you what I got at 30 minutes. Don't want it to look... No, that looks horrible. Yeah, blur it. Play around with some of this. Get something really subtle and then it looks really cool. You don't want it too... The thing with like lens dirt and stuff is you more kind of just want a few smaller artifacts that just kind of give away the look that it was filmed with a real camera. But you don't want it to be too obvious that everyone knows that you've just applied something like that to it. I'm now going to add the letterbox to the top. That's the wrong layer. Right, move that down below. I'm quite happy with this. I feel like if I knew how to use parallax more and had thought out more how to do this opening, then it could have been better. But I mean, for half an hour and a few other minutes added onto this, it's not too bad. There's a couple of things I'm just going to quickly do, like throw on some grain. Which one's different? I don't actually know the difference between those two. Yeah, I did want that. Add the grain under above the lens bit. I'm just going to reduce this down to like 2. No, a bit more than that. There's just a nice overall grade to it. And then some curves, and then I'm just going to leave it at that after I've final colour graded it. Just trying to balance the look between like quite cool and also horrible, because it's not meant to look like absolutely perfect. That is part of the entire style of this title. What else should I add? I mean, I would just duplicate the chromatic aberration and then just point this at 180-degree angle and then set it to that one, and then also just offset these keyframes ever so slightly, and also just move around some of these keyframes. I feel like at the start I spent too much time building up the displacement map, when what probably would have been best was for me to just kind of forget about that, because it doesn't look that great there. Oh yeah, and then I'll just throw some glows on to the grade, and then I'll call it a day. Make it slightly less intense. Again, those light flares are probably coming in far too quickly. Actually, if I increase the radius. Oh dear. If I lower the intensity, this might get some... Just playing around with the glows now. Is it that glow that's... Yeah, that glow's overdoing it a bit. Reduce the intensity, reduce the threshold. How does this look? That looks a bit better. Right, I'll just watch it through once more, render it out, and then I'll see what I think to changing up the light flares as they first enter the frame. But I'm quite happy with what I've got in like this 3/4 of an hour that I've spent doing this title. I was quite rushed because I had to think how I was going to do it, because I hadn't really thought of too many ways of how I was going to do the opening, and then I thought a bit too much about doing the opening when I probably should have been starting on doing the displacement of like the block displacement and all of that kind of stuff. I think chromatic aberration should come in slightly sooner, but I should probably stop just adjusting things and just leave it. and then I'll do a side-by-side comparison of which one looks better. It's definitely going to be the official one. I want to see how close I came to recreating it. I forgot to change up the... I need to create more frequency in the scan lines for the font for Wonder Woman. I'm quite pleased with the light flares and the glows, because they are actually looking quite nice and bold, and really making the title stand out. I also think I spent a bit too much time working on the background at the start. I'm probably forgetting something else that happens in the trailer. Right, let's watch this through. That's not too bad, actually. For my first attempt at creating this title, never tried creating this title before. It's not the worst thing in the world. Again, that's kind of disappointing, the opening. Because in the proper trailer, they've got... Okay, now I look at it like this, and I realise the amount of things that are wrong with mine. But, yeah. I'm now just going to open the titles comp and drag and drop this into here, and then I'm just going to do a side-by-side. Right. And then you can see how close I came, also how far away I came. That would actually be a really interesting idea, Dafter Things. I might actually, yeah, I might suggest that. Thank you. I'll have to contact him about it. I just came up with this idea because I started doing... I was on the Film Sensei livestream yesterday, and I quite enjoyed being on the livestream again, and I kind of thought, well, I might want to get started on doing some live streaming projects, so I just decided I'd do this kind of a challenge. So yeah, I'll put that challenge forward to Hitfilm Sensei to see how far he gets, and maybe some others as well. Be interested if he wants to join in on this. And also, Pulverine, I might be doing a tutorial on how to do fancy subscribe and like animations soon. So if you want to subscribe, hit the bell notification to get notified. A notification, that's the word, for when I upload that. I don't quite know when that will be coming out. Sometime soon, I think. Might not be this week. Well, this coming Thursday. Maybe week after. There are a few timing errors I've just noticed. Ah, yeah, and the text keeps moving backwards. In mine, I just kind of have it staying still. This is more turning into like an hour challenge. See how much I can get done in an hour. Also, in the official version, the block displacement is a lot longer. I'm not that used to the block displacement effect quite yet, so I would be interested in using that a bit more. I am using Hitfilm Pro version 14.1 or 2, but 14 is the main bulk version of what I'm using. I've just noticed I've got mine in the top corner really small. Right, it's almost done. Also should have scaled up the Wonder Woman text a lot more, and also spaced it out a bit more. Right, final looks, let's compare them. That's not that bad. Yep, definitely a lot of things that I see I should have improved, but it's not too bad. So yeah, thank you all for watching. if you were watching it live. And I should have added more glitch. Thank you, Dafter. I was trying to see what I'd done wrong. And also, it's alright, I will be making the animation video soon, Pulvering. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this stream, and if you did, then please leave a like and also subscribe to my channel. I might be doing other things like this sometime in the future, but I don't quite know. Depends whether people enjoyed this. It's something quite different to my normal just videos. And I'm thinking I might challenge some other Hitfilm users to this kind of a challenge. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and subscribe. And also comment if you have any like other challenges that you might want me to see me do. I'm just coming up on an hour-long stream now. So yeah, thank you. Goodbye.